All right, let's begin our bulletin right here. The two suspects arrested in connection with the murder of 4 people, including a teenager and a police officer in Jukulyn in Soshanguve, north of Pretoria, have made their first appearance this morning. Sipho, Kyomo and Tshepo Mosemeni are facing 4 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder for the New Year's Eve shooting. The motive for the killing is still unknown at this stage. There was a heavy police and private security presence at the Soshanguve Magistrates Court. Family members of the deceased and community members heckled the 2 suspects as they appeared in Court A. It's believed the heavily armed suspects opened fire on the victims in the early hours of New Year's Day. The case has been postponed to the 12th of January. SABC News reporter Hasina Gori was in court.
The 2 accused in the mass murder on New Year's Eve here in Jukulyn and Soshanguve, north of Pretoria, made a brief appearance at the Magistrates Court this morning. There were some delays as the docket arrived late, but after those delays, there was quite a heavy police presence here in the courtroom as they briefly both appeared. It was Sipho, Kyomo as well as Tshepo Mosemeni, who is the 2 accused that are facing 4 charges of murder as well as 1 of attempted murder. These are for the killing of 4 people on New Year's Eve, 1 being a teenage girl who was just 14 years of age. We spoke earlier on with some family members who have been here from the morning just protesting against these 2 being granted bail. We've been told that the bail application has been remanded to next week, Friday, to allow for that process to begin. I want to bring in some of the family members again who have been here, from this morning. Zingiswe, you lost someone, in your own family. Firstly, condolences. But can you tell us, as the family, who was your loved one that you lost?
It's Pumulang Malagapatlo, the one who was found in the car with the police guy. Yeah.
As a family, how are you just coping hearing that news? What's been, your reality, since you've heard the news?
It's not easy. I don't want to lie. It's not easy. For a grandmother, it's worse. She's been in and out of hospital. Even yesterday, we went and get him back. She's diagnosed with depression. But we are trying to cope, even though it's very difficult. I don't want to lie.
How old was your family member and what did they do?
She was only 26, 28, I think, somewhere there. She was a senior consultant at ABSA, and she was just promoted now. She's not being long from the tertiary.
Condolence once again to you and your family as well. But I want to bring in the Sanko councillor here as well. It's your community as well. You've heard these stories. You live in that area. What's your message, firstly, to the families and to the community who have, just suffered this loss?
Thank you very much. And let us first send our condolences to the bereaved families. As Sanko, we are really very much shocked about the incident that has been happened. And also we must say that actually it's not the first case that you are appearing. If you can remember the case of the space cookies, it happened in Jukulyn. And also there is another case in High Court whereby you can remember that a traditional healer killed a lady. So even that case is still there, and all these things are happening in Jukulyn. So we can say that this area is very much dangerous, and we make a call to the government to assist. Actually, that area, it does not need only the police. We need the soldiers now to come and reinforce the police so that we can make sure that we combat that crime. Because every day we can hear. And the most thing is that most of the cases that are happening, they use the rifles. And if you can say when the people are having the rifles, you can be aware that it seems that in that area we are having a lot of unlicensed firearms. So we need those police to come and make patrols actually every day. After 10 o'clock, we need the police to be in the area actually.
Thank you so much. And again, echoing those sentiments that we keep hearing with regards to the crime in that area, saying that, not even the ambulances. We spoke with people earlier from the community who described that ambulances don't come into that area to respond to these emergency situations without an escort. Hearing from, the uncle here saying that, bakeries need to have escorts, furniture vehicles. That is unruly, and lawlessness seems to be the order of the day. I want to bring in the councillor, the ANC councillor here. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Let's start with, how is the community faring? How are they holding up after this devastating incident that just took place?
Oh, thank you. I think the community now has reached its ceiling in terms of tolerance. There have been incidents before this one where there were random shootings in restaurants and also in tuck shops. So this one triggered them to an extent where they are now venting out, and they are saying enough, it's enough, because of they've been seeking interventions from various spheres of government, also organizing demonstrations to local SABC, requesting government to give attention to this issue, because of so far they feel like they've lost a lot so far. Yes.
Where has government let them down, and then what can be done? Where is the interventions that need to happen?
I think this issue of combating crime, also from the government perspective, they also wanted community to be on board in terms of the dissemination of information, forming part of the solution, so that the community and the police could work hand in glove to actually monitor the environment. Because of so far, I think both needs one another. Both parties needs one another to provide a sustainable solution to this issue of Jukulyn. Because of so far, even private sector investors are withdrawing. There was a project that was supposed to come out close to almost $500 million. They looked at the market rates and then also the levels of crime, and they withdrew in November last year. These are the results of the levels of crimes that are there.
We've seen the similar levels of crime in areas like Diepsloot, and we've seen interventions by national policing as well come in with drones and on-field, more visibility. Can we see that? One of the requests was that there be a satellite or a mobile police station in that area. Are these things that are in the pipelines and that are being brought to the table when it comes to responses to the crime? Okay,
luckily those are some of the things that I also requested earlier, and they are on the pipeline. They are making communications with both the Department of Community Safety and also through the Gauteng provincial government, because that's the only government that is actually on the ground. As we speak, even the council, the City of Tshwane Council, hasn't made any reaction to these things. So yeah, they are on the pipeline. Actually, my ward was one of the first preference wards that needs attention. So after these festive seasons, I think during the first meeting, we will just do a monitoring and evaluation on the pace of implementation on these things.
Thank you so much. That was the ward councillor speaking to us here outside the Soshanguve Magistrates Court. Once again, we're here where those two accused in this mass murder case that took place on New Year's Eve in Jukulyn and one of the areas in Soshanguve made a brief first appearance. They're facing 4 charges of murder, 1 of attempted murder. They will return to court next week, Friday, that's the 12th of January, for formal bail application. But for now, I'm Hasina Gori for SABC News in Soshanguve.